Alright, so for today's review, we are going to be taking a look at the Conrad Komatsu WA250PT Advanced Plus wheel loader in 1 to 50th scale. This is a bit of an older release from Conrad, but it can still be found floating around on some dealers, and it can be found floating around on eBay as well. You can get this model in a couple different variations. You can get it in the 250PT Advanced Plus, as you see here, or you can get it in a standard just WA250PT. Or you can get in the 270 PT. It's the 270 and 250 are basically the same models. It's the same casting as far as I can see, and the only thing different is the decals and some decal placements. We'll take a look at the 270 here at the end of the review. So we'll take the attachments out of the picture, and we'll take a look at the 250 itself. As you can see here, it's got some basic detailing. It isn't a bit of an older Conrad model. I believe it came out in the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess the detail back then wasn't the greatest, but this is what they made. So you can see here, you kind of have some bolt head detailings here on your wheel hubs. It's kind of hard to see, but they did kind of model them. And you have an okay tread pattern there on your tires as well. You got some metal mud flaps. You got some lights with some painted on silvered surfaces and some amber surfaces for your hazards or your turning signals. And you can see on the front of the cab, you do have some nice plastic handrails with some mirrors on them. They did kind of glue this one in on an angle. And then you can see you got a nice Komatsu decal right there and some simulated lights, I'm assuming, on top of the cab right there as well. You got another plastic handrail on the side of the cab right there. It's a little grab rail, so when you're coming up the stairs, you can grab onto that, open your door. On your operator's compartment it's fairly basic. Got a seat, steering wheel, and that's about all I can make out in there. And then coming to the back of the machine, you can see you got your Advanced Plus decal right there and your 250 decal right there as well. I'm assuming this is supposed to be like a simulated latch where this would open it up. I could be wrong, but that's just what it looks like to me. You got a nice metal like mud flap over the wheel right there. You have a plastic exhaust and air cleaner right there. The color match is pretty good. Not the greatest, but it's not the worst either. You can see on the back, you got the Advanced Plus decal on the back of the cab right there. And then you do have a nice Komatsu logo right there with some simulated lights as well. And you got some more hazards slash turning signal lights right there. And you have an okay detailed counterweight you can see right there. It's not the greatest, not the worst either. And then the stairs on this side are a little bit different than the stairs on the other side. So you can see that's modeled nicely right there. And then the front of this machine, as you can see, that's the front of the machine. Pretty basic, no hydraulics or anything modeled in there, very nice. Anything modeled nicely in there. Then your bucket, you can see it's just pretty plain. You got some teeth on there. There's no wear plating or anything. But I guess that's just what it was back then when the model was produced. It's not a bad model at all. So the model gets some of the functionality. So you can see the turning radius is it's fairly decent. Can't really complain there. And then we'll get to the loader arm function. So one thing on these models is the cylinders are very stiff, so you want to be very careful. You don't want to break a cylinder because the model is no longer made, and I don't think you're ever going to find replacement parts for it. So you just want to be careful with the cylinders. But that is how high the loader arms will go. With your bucket back, that's about as far back as your bucket can go as well. And then that is how far your bucket can dump. It will clear, and it will just barely clear an east dump trailer if you have no sideboards on it, but it has no problem clearing any of the first gear dump trucks. So that's one thing you can have this thing doing, is loading a dump truck if you so please. And then it does have a function quick coupler. It's a pretty easy mechanism, just hooks on and these little nubs pop into place on the quick coupler. But there's a better look at your bucket. You can see it's just a fairly simple casting. Kind of have some wear plate detail right there, but no bolt heads or anything. So that's your bucket. It does come with a set of forks as well, as you can see here. And they are adjustable, and these just hook on like the bucket, and they pop into place, if I can do it right. And then you also have a log grapple, which this is an okay attachment. I don't really have any use for this, so it just sits on one of my trailers as a load. But let's see if we can get those forks on. This is how I have my 270 set up, with forks on it. As you can see right there, they do pop off very easily. So that's one downside about this quick coupler, is the attachments do kind of pop off very easily. So you just gotta be careful on how you handle it. Now, like this model has the word tool carrier on the loader arms. On my 270, it just says Komatsu. So we'll take the attachments out of the picture, and we'll bring in the 270 to show you that it's pretty much the same model. As you can see right there, it's pretty much the same model. This one's a little bit looser than this one. But as you can see here, the 250 has tool carrier on there, and this one just has Komatsu. And obviously at the back, it just says WA270, not Advanced Plus or anything. But that's pretty much the only differences I can find in the model. Otherwise, the castings are pretty much the same. As you can see all the way around, pretty much the same, except for this one has a bit of a different decal right there. I believe it says Achieve, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of hard to see, get the camera to focus on there, or something along those lines on the back, as you can see. But that's pretty much the only differences between these two models. As you can see right there, nothing too crazy. I believe it's just the same casting, just re-decaled. They do come in the same box. They both do say WA270 on the box as well. So I believe they produced the 270 first, and then they decided to do some 250s, and they just reused the 250 box. But overall, it's a pretty nice little model. You can pick it up. It's not that expensive. I paid $54 shipped for this one. For the 270, it was like $40 shipped for that one. So it's a pretty good deal, I would say, if you're looking to add a mid-range wheel loader to your collection and you don't want to have a cat, or you're just looking for an older machine to have in your collection. But that's going to do it for this video, so thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. If you do enjoy the content on the video, please give the video a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to follow any of my social medias, both links are in the description. And stay tuned for the next video to be uploaded.